What's up, everybody? It's Cliff. Happy Tuesday. We're on time. Look at this shit. And everybody's in the right location on the character panel. I had to double check before I fucking said something. We got Maddie, what's up? We got the updated stuff. Oh, hey, wait, hold up.
Stuff and things.
The stuff and things. Hold up. Something you guys aren't supposed to see just yet is that. So we'll get rid of that for now. We got the updated characters. Do you see that? Look how cool that looks. Sin fucking knocked it out the park.
Goddamn right he did.
Also, we got I brought back community events finally. I've been trying to figure out a way to work it back in. So what I will do is on any new subs, new follows, or if anybody is using the stream loots, if you do ! stream loots right now, there's a link in that command for a free deck. First 10 people to redeem it can get a stream loots deck pack thing for free. And you may get one of the community event cards. And if you do, if we get 5 of those cards or any 5 events in tandem, new follows, new subs, stream loots cards, it will trigger a community event, whereas you guys will get to vote on something. And I love Asuna and Rune followed before the stream, so I'm going to go ahead and boom, hit this first button. Ooh, so you hear that pretty sound? If you look on the layout, you'll see that there's a gold bar in each of the corners. Once that gold bar makes it all the way across the screen, that will trigger the event. Fucking production value, bitch.
Fancy.
Right? Hold on, let's do it this way. I can make it even more fancy. Let's go. Production value, bitch. Such a delayed now, because I wanted it to be cool. It's fine. Rune, the modifier DM will make it so you play that card first, and then the next card you play will affect me instead of the players. So you want to save that for the times that you really want to screw me over. Which is probably always, so you might not even have to save it.
Do that.
So with that, I don't think I have anything else. Do you guys have anything?
No.
Nope.
Cool, then
Herp.
we do one thing here. Actually, you know what? I'll kick off the intro, and then I'll do that while I'm doing it. So, boom.
Adventures from Amethil.
And here we are. So, here's what I could do now, because I couldn't do that before. So, we are now 5 years past the Orcus incident, or the Orcus crisis, or whatever it is you want to call it, where Orcus came to the material plane and was defeated by our valiant heroes. And a lot has changed. That definitely goes for Dracarius as well. And hopefully this loads for everybody, because I didn't want to preload it so you could sneak a peek of it before. Yeah,
Ooh.
there it goes.
Ooh.
So there have been some changes.
Trader's Rest. What?
There we go. What the hell is all the way up there?
That's the arena. Oh, sewage drainage.
drainage.
Never mind. Not the arena.
Oh, that's nasty.
Already complaining.
Man, you got a lot of ways to get into your sewer there.
Yeah. Memorial Garden. Oh. Oh, that hurts my heart.
Statue of Bardrock. Yes.
Where the hell?
God damn.
Wait, what?
Oh my
Damn
god.
it.
Where is this?
John.
My day has been made.
Oh my god.
See, I was talking to Brittany
Had to
about
inflate
that.
his ego even more.
I was talking to Brittany about that, and I weighed it out. Like, do I want to inflate John's ego? Not really, but will it be worth it to see everybody else's response of said event? And I decided,
Absolutely.
yeah, it'd be fucking worth it. So I did it.
Wait, Reina's School of Magic?
You weren't supposed to see that yet.
I'm seeing everything.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she would have noticed in the 5 years.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So as you can see, there were some long-term effects to the cataclysms, the earthquakes, destroyed part of the town. There were a few homes that were lost. It collapsed the sewer in. But over the 5 years, you guys did manage to rebuild. The first 2 or so years, the city was on the verge of bankrupt. There was no income, but there was tons of repairs that needed. Homes that were wrecked needed to be either rebuilt, refortified, or people that lost their homes altogether needed to be moved into new housing. By year 3, you guys started to stabilize the economy and bring everything back. And then by year 4 and 5, you guys started to actually make a profit. Once everything was starting to bounce back, after Vakta's breakdown and eventual recovery, Bardrak's first thing was to upgrade the castle to a keep to make it a true city, to give that beacon of hope back, to have that landmark. So the start of year 4, construction went underway for the castle. So Castle Rin. There was also some changes that were made to the sewer system. The area that Batsu had carved out for him and his people was caved in on. Everything that Batsu had was lost. But with that, he also managed to rebuild down there.
Dang.
There it is. Ooh.
Man, that main drain out, that gets real dirty real quick. Sure would hate to ever have to use that exit.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's not really meant for an exit. So, I mean, I guess if you were desperate, you could, but, you know,
It's
that's
just-
not really...
That's a real shitty way out.
It is.
Uh,
It is definitely a shitty way to go. But you guys managed to close off the area that collapsed, which was having issues of some of the remaining demons and creatures that were crawling out of these cracks were making their way under your guys' city. So steps had to be taken towards dispatching the things that made it inside there and then sealing it off so new things couldn't make their way underneath. So walls were built, you managed to get everything going, and then the areas that were actually part of the drainage system had to be rerouted slightly. So like I said, there was a lot of work that went into it. And that leads us to where we are now on year 5. economy is stabilizing. And did I bring that forward? No, it didn't. Hold on. Bring forward, you son bitch. No, I ain't gonna do it. Trying to control the second instance here. Economy has reestablished itself. You guys are actually starting to gain a profit again. You're not in the hole. And everything seems to be going well.
Well, clearly some shit's going on. This doesn't happen.
Then came a knock at the door.
So I think there were some things that you guys wanted to do at the start of this, no?
I had a few things that Vardrak would have been doing over the past few years.
Oh, what a surprise.
Shocked.
Whatever. Haters.
Yeah, Vakta totally hates you.
Let's see here. So Vardrak would have sent 10 platinum through Messenger back to the Queen of Durian, which was the amount she loaned us to help get started. Well, she gave it, but he just sent it back anyway. He knighted Ravage, made him a knight captain for his future knights that he's going to be training. He has announced a competition, actually, since he hasn't had time to actually like assemble and handpick a team. He's just going to take like the best soldiers from town and who seemed like super motivated and everything, and eventually at some point start his little paladin camp. He started 2 new holiday traditions besides the Frostguard Festival, which we already know. One was a day of mourning, or, you know, basically,
Remembrance.
yeah, you know, Day of the Dead type thing, for everyone who's lost during the whole course of the Orcus thing. And the other was actually a response to Vakta having that little episode and having to deal with the resulting depression afterwards. Him, Kirla, and her handmaiden, I can't think of her name. What's your handmaiden's name? There we go. Basically,
I'm just happy I remembered it. I don't even have to look at my notes.
They came together to have this grand idea to kind of get her out of her slump. And on Vakta's birthday, they made it a surprise holiday, with everyone like dressing up all fancy. They had all kinds of bards doing performances and dances and drinking fancy wines and shit.
I'm all about the fancy wine.
And people bringing presents, and it was a day of celebration of the queen, so it became an annual thing. Up to Melissa if that actually worked on Vakta or not to help her out.
It probably did make her feel a little bit better and more reassured that the people loved her, at least if they were all like, yeah, let's do this. After she, you know.
I'm sure that Vardrak would have definitely given them a choice.
The incident.
Vardrak just heavily insisted that they should.
I don't need to know that.
Glowing red eyes.
Other than that, he's been really focusing on learning his spell casting. Since no one seemed to know how the fuck he cast spells, he had to start really learning how to do it himself. And aside from that, like, just occasionally spreading the stories of, you know, everything that they went through and making sure that plenty of passerbyers heard the stories too, so they could spread the word of how great this kingdom is and how great he is, because, you know, Vardrak. Yeah, that's about it.
Wasn't there something you had for Batsu?
Batsu and Vardrak basically had an agreement that he is not to know anything about what goes on underneath the city. He wants to stay once, removed from that. Vardrak's never going to go down there. Batsu's completely in control of what goes on down there. But he must honor the original agreement that he must keep Vakta informed of anything that's important or significant. And if he starts losing control of this underground society that he's creating, things start going bad, or anything starts bleeding out into the kingdom, then Vakta has to make the decision of whether she has to pull the plug on it or not. And then Vardrak gets involved.
That's not what I was talking about, though.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah, there was something that you were going to have Batsu do.
Oh, yes. The one other surprise.
The other thing.
Okay, so yeah, a part of the whole like Queen Appreciation Day thing.
1 second. Jake, give me a D20.
God damn. Fuck.
It's good. You're good. Go ahead.
Ready?
Yep.
So yeah, he revealed on that day, besides the festivities, the new name of the school. So that was supposed to be a big surprise for her. And number 2 was a bit of a mission that hopefully Batsu and his crew were able to complete in secret. And I guess I need to wait to see if he was successful or not.
So, okay, so I guess we're going to keep it this way because Melissa's got that look on her face, so it's funnier.
Thanks.
So, Sin, did Batsu agree to this?
Yeah. He went in by himself, though. He didn't take anyone with him.
Okay. Perfect. So without actually revealing what we're doing, because again, it's more fun to drag this on for Melissa's sake.
Yep.
What is your approach going to be to this?
Well, he's camping out just beyond the border
Okay.
until like the dead of night, and after that, he is going to attempt to get in using his like monk's abilities.
Okay. So you're gonna attempt to like scale over and then blend in, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Should be
Go
easy,
ahead
yeah.
and give me a stealth roll, please. And you're doing this in the dead of night?
Yep.
Okay. And Vardrak has given you very, very specific details. Huh? Sorry. So he has given you very, very specific details as to what you are there for.
Right.
So once you navigate to that specific area, and you see the target of this quest, didn't you say your plan was to do a thing to make it easier to carry this thing back?
Yes, the monks have a ability called we never added it to me.
Well, then you ain't got it now, do you?
Oh shit.
It's called Stunning Strike.
Yeah. How do you not have that on here?
And it's a I don't know.
Well, you might have it on here under something
My
different.
abilities or something.
But you don't. Here, I'll add it real quick. Now you do.
Nice.
Go ahead and give me the attack roll for it.
Double click.
You should be able to just drag it out, I think.
No. It's it's a save.
Oh wow, okay.
So I could do an attack to see if I hit, then the save.
is that what you're supposed to do with it as an attack? When you hit another creature, you have to hit him first. Okay, so go ahead and give me an attack roll real quick.
Wow.
Okay.
How many player points do I have?
I guess we should get into the player points, huh?
Yeah.
God
Oh,
damn.
yeah. I probably have to bank mine.
Also-
Gonna have to
also, Cliff,
bail Batsu out of prison.
Cliff, can you give us a rest so we're not like injured from the last time?
Nah, you guys are still injured from that fight. It was a big one.
Yeah.
5 years ago?
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
It was a doozy.
Like I said to you guys, I broke my wrist when I was like 13, and I still have issues, 20 years later. So, I mean, it happens.
Yeah, I've never broken anything, but I pull stuff all the time, and yeah, my shoulder's still messed up. Carrying my rotator cuff. It's been
Alright.
years.
Okay, yeah, so there you're good to go. So to run down it, John, you have 10, Melissa, you have 4, Sin, you have 2, and
Awesome.
Jake, you have 4. You gonna use them?
Yeah, I'm using those two.
Okay, go ahead and give me another attack roll, please.
Oh dear God. Okay, that's
I
better.
would have laughed so hard.
Me too.
Like, oh god.
So yeah, so that definitely works, and then it was a DC of 17. I just need to make one check on something here, to see.
And so it begins. Oh, good. Oh, good. You're fucking with my ankle again. Thanks. Thanks. I appreciate it.
5 years later, it's still
Just
going
a
on.
stammering reminder.
It's a Constitution save, right? Yeah. Okay. So we do this.
Dwarves can't superhero.
So yeah. So that is successful.
All right. As he's stunned, tying, gagging, and making it look like a backpack, I guess.
Go ahead and explain how we're gonna make that look like a backpack. That'd be definitely like a hiking bag at the very least.
Yeah, like so as much as I can, like the arms and the legs, getting them as tight as I can so they don't wiggle around. Gagging the mouth and just wrapping like a sheet in some rope so he can hear you.
The fuck are you doing, Batsu?
Conducting business.
It's all for Melissa. It's fine.
Yep.
So confused. I thought this was going one direction, and then it went a different one. And I'm just like,
And what is your plan to keep things under control for the trip back?
Like back to Dracarius.
Yeah.
Punching him in the head over and over again.
I'm pretty sure Ardrak wouldn't be too upset about that. So every time he gets to stay awake as long as he doesn't cause any problems. After that, then it's a sling strike to the back of the head again.
Okay, so go ahead and give me an intimidation roll to see how well that ultimatum goes.
Nice.
Okay, perfect. So all goes to plan. Everything's great.
Nice.
On your way back, when you're making your way back to Dracarius, you're camping for the night, and you have your cargo stowed properly. You hear this loud crack of energy, and the night is completely brightened for a moment like a bolt of lightning struck. And standing in front of you is the jackal. And he has this elf standing with him, with this gray hair, a young-looking face, but you could tell is older. Both of them are adorned in very fine robes, and there is this magical presence that is radiating off of him. And it immediately wakes you up. And he walks over to you, and he's kind of like looking at you. Well, it appears that you fared well enough after the Orcus incident.
Enough? Was something else supposed to happen?
Well, I see this curse that you have about you. I assume that you used the artifact?
Oh, yes, that... Yeah.
Well, I wish I had known the powers of this to the degree that I do now.
Batsu does too.
But I assure you that that artifact that you have still has the potential to be one of the most powerful things in the universe.
And it's still like clipped to where he held his old cards.
Well, right, and as he's talking, he's gesturing to your arm like he knows it's there.
Yeah, it's like locked too. Like there's a padlock hanging off of the sleeve. Like, yeah, this is only gonna be for like if I'm about to die, then maybe we'll draw another one, but I don't think I'm gonna do it too soon.
Well, that is called the deck of many things. And he hovers his hand over it, and you see his hand glow. There are only a few cards left with malice effect. So your chances of something great happening are high. But I don't want to instill any sort of false confidence, for the negative effects that are left are truly damning.
That's good to know.
But that's not why I'm here. We have already imprinted onto one another.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's how you found me so easily.
Well, I wanted to make our business transaction a little more formal. Let's say that I have the ability to bestow you with power beyond what you've ever experienced. But in doing so, I require your dying pledge that until you breathe your last breath, you will serve me. Not as a master, but as a god.
Is that what your friend there did?
Reluctantly, but yes.
And he like looks back at this elf and he's like, how's it working out for you, man?
So casual.
And he kind of looks over at the jackal, and the jackal nods. The knowledge that he shares is not to be replicated anywhere. I just wish that his acquisition of such power didn't come with such a great cost.
What did it cost you?
Really, it cost me nothing, but in a way, it cost me everything that I knew. And the jackal just interrupts. I killed his god and acquired his powers.
Oh. petty shit.
Well, I hope that you would not dismiss my death quite so nonchalantly.
Well, if I make this deal and you turn into my god that I'm serving, am I going to be spreading the name of the jackal to others?
That's all up to you. What I get out of this exchange is the more knowledge you gain, the more knowledge I gain, and the stronger you grow, the stronger I grow. But in turn, the stronger I grow, the more powers I can bestow upon you.
I like the sound of that. But since we defeated Orcus, there hasn't really been much going on. What's the use of this power if there's no real way to use it?
No. The creatures that wish to do evil never sleep. Just because you do not see them does not mean they are not there. But in itself, what I am willing to give you is knowledge. And whether crisis or celebration, knowledge is something to always have.
I kind of agree with that. And he stands up. He's been in his bed the whole time. And walks over to the jackal. Am I going to have to leave Dracarius and accompany you?
If I need of you, I would ask that you do. But for now, no. Just the opposite. I would love for you to stay there, assist Vardrak and the kingdom with whatever comes.
And he kind of just like looks at his hand where they made the agreement before. Yeah, I like this, but you said it was going to be more formal. Is it going to be paperwork or something, or what?
You hear him chuckle, and he puts his hand out like he's gonna shake your hand. All you have to do is pledge.
And he grabs the jackal's hand pretty tight.
And as you do, you feel this like course of like electricity rush through you. And these thoughts just start to flood your mind, and you're feeling your brain firing on all synapses. And in doing so, you have been granted the Jackal's boon. You now have the basic knowledge of Arcana, and you can make Arcana skill checks with proficiency.
Does that mean I can get my feet now?
It sure does, buddy.
God. God.
And you feel this energy firing, and the jackal, like, he like roars out, This feeling, this knowledge that you have now is only the start. Continue to serve me, and I will continue to increase your powers as we both gain strength.
Batsu's just like staring at his hand, and his hand is like kind of shaking. He takes a few steps back and does like a half bow, but still staring at him like, confused at how he's so much different from when he last seen him.
And like as you like bow, there's that crackle of energy again that almost blinds you for a moment. And just as fast as he arrived, he was gone. And you hear this you hear this muffled voice off from a tree at the side, like, "What the hell was that?"
Was that my little friend?
Yep.
Basu like rolls him over and like uses him as a pillow. Nothing you need to worry about.
And you wake up the next day and continue your journey back. So about 6 days after Batsu left, he arrives back at town, and he has this large, like, satchel on his back that's like 5 feet tall or so, wider than him, and it's moving about as he's walking.
Cliff, you hit mute.
Yeah, Cliff, you muted yourself somehow.
I think I was just too far away and the clipping took it. Can you hear me now or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he comes into town with this large 5 foot tall or so backpack on that's wider than him, and he's holding the straps as the bag behind him is wriggling.
Vardrak's gonna look over the Ravage and give him a nod, and Ravage comes over to relieve you of your package.
Basu like before Ravage takes it, he like puts a hand up and he just throws the fucking straps down and throws this thing on the floor. Then he's like, all right, now you can get it.
You just hear this,
What you got there, Batsu?
Like rubbing his back, like a big ass pile of shit, and he just walks off to his house.
Megami's house, bitch.
Yeah,
I didn't give it to you.
I know.
Ravage is going to pick up the package and head inside the castle, and he's going to gift wrap it.
Fuck.
I mean, it's already kind of gift wrap, no?
Yeah, well, making sure it's,
Put a big bow on it.
And then Vardrak is going to go and find Vaktas.
I gotta be there for that.
Oh, joy! She's probably in some garden somewhere, honestly.
Yeah, boss is just.
I don't think
talking
she
to the cat.
stopped working.
Like the memorial garden?
Oh,
Oh.
like, I mean, like farming something. But no. No, I don't think she's stopped working. Like, she's tried to feel less guilty about everything, but she's just... If she's not sleeping and they're not off doing something, she's working somewhere in town, probably trying to help someone farm.
Then she would be interrupted by a familiar female elven voice saying, "My lady, the king wishes to see you."
That's Kirla.
We're friends now, it's fine.
Do you say that?
It's fine. Just see you in the castle.
He is.
Alright, I'll be there in a minute. And Vakta's gonna hand off whatever she's doing to whoever she's working with and, like, wipe her hands off like, on her pants. She's like, and just go. She doesn't need to look fancy. It's just Vardrak. They've been married a while now.
Accurate.
So Kirla's going to lead you to basically the room where Vardrak and Ravage go to train every morning. And she stops outside the door and says, "He's right inside."
Thank you. And she'll enter the room. What's there, Vardrak?
Costume with a big ass smile.
there is
He's waiting.
this little bag sitting next to Vardrak, and it's moving around like something struggling to get out. And it's got this huge red bow on it. And Vardrak's looking like really proud, like, come open it.
Vardrak, what is this?
It's a surprise. You'll love it.
I'll love it.
Yes.
Yeah, you will.
She's gonna go over and hesitantly open the bag.
As you open the bag, two things happen. One, a morning star that is like badly like war damaged clanks to the ground, and this thing just hums with magical energy. Secondly, a dwarf flops to the ground. It's not Herfru.
Not Grimble, is it?
It's not Grimble.
Vardrak's like, come on, you remember, right?
Boss is just holding back a laugh in the corner.
Oh, give me an insight check.
She doesn't fucking remember. Oh my god.
Oh god. I'm really hoping this isn't who I think it is.
Oh, she remembers.
So, first off, who do you think it is?
I feel like. Oh, well, is it a male or female dwarf?
It's a male.
Did you kidnap the dwarf from the Mage's Tower in Duran?
No.
No.
Okay. If it's not Hufu, that's the only other dwarf that came to mind.
So, you would recognize this dwarf from Durian, from the crafting guild area. The one that ratted you and Vardrak out to the authorities when you guys were wanted.
Way back then.
Yeah, like fucking 8 years ago or some shit at this point.
Huh?
Vardrak, what? Why?
He's like, I would like to know why too. And like when you look at him, like his face is all knotted and he's got like a black eye.
Grimble, after hearing all this from the other room, he walks in and is like, what the hell? So, oh, and just goes over and picks up the mace and goes, neat, and just kind of steps back and is just looking at it.
Vardrak?
What'd he do?
Why?
He put you in jail. So I brought him here for you to punish.
Vakta just kind of like rubs her temples and like looks down and then looks back up at Vardrak and then down at the dwarf and just. That was a long time ago.
Yep, sure was. I remember. Fucking Bob. I
Well,
remember because I'm a good husband, right? He can't look more prouder than he does right now.
because of that line, Vakta just like flashes a quick smile and like trying so hard to hide it because she's just like, can't look amused. This is not like her inner monologue is just, I can't look amused. This is not a good thing. This is. And she just kind of like, you have a very good memory. I never would have thought to bring him here.
Yes, just for you.
Okay.
He's looking over at Bots, who gave him like a thumbs up and a wink.
Can you untie me so I can go now?
After futzing with it more, Grimble's just like looking at the morning stars, like, can I keep this? Just looking up at Vardrock.
Vardra's like, oh yeah, he's not gonna need it.
No,
Cool.
that I was working on that.
Yeah, and you did a terrible job. I'll do better. And he just walks off.
Doctor just watches this happen and like looks back after Grimble.
That's part of Octa's gift.
Damn it. He still walks off.
Doctor's just like, whatever. Fartra, can I talk to you in the hallway real quick? And she's just gonna like nod at Botsi and be like, you watch him. And she just leaves the room. And waits
Is
for
Ravage
Fartra.
still there?
Ravage is standing outside the door with his arms crossed as usual.
All right, yeah, I'm calling Ravage. I'm like, you watch this fucking guy. I've had enough of him.
Hey, give me a perception check real quick, Batsu.
A what?
Perception check.
I'm the best at those.
I'm the best at those. Bitch.
Oh wow.
Too bad. All right. Go ahead. You guys are fine.
As Bots is walking out, Vardrock just not so stealthy. He goes, I think she likes it.
Is he just walking out of the castle? And he gives a thumbs up as he's walking.
He's also going to like hand you the coin that you're owed. So let Cliff transfer that.
How much was it?
Was it
Over
2,500 gold? Was it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
And Vardrock will step out and follow Vok to wherever she's going.
Like, so if they're like talking at a normal level, it's out of earshot, but if there's yelling, they can hear. Like she just like walks down the hallway a little bit.
I know you're so overwhelmed by how awesome this is, but
That is a word and a feeling.
it is.
Vardrock, I don't hold any ill will against him. I appreciate the gesture, and it's very thoughtful, and I'm like, that is a great memory that you have. You did a fantastic job. But all that time ago, we broke the law, and he was just following it. I wouldn't want to see someone else punish one of our people for turning in a fugitive, so I don't feel comfortable administering a punishment for him. And she like kind of like half winces, half smiles, just like awkward as hell.
So you don't like it?
I really like the gesture and the thought you put into it. It's really, really thoughtful.
He put you in jail. We can kill him together, same time.
And at the moment he says, kill him, Vakta just kind of like lightly flinches.
What would you want?
I don't want to kill anybody else. I don't want to. You can.
I know. We've talked about this, but remember, you were not you when you did that. So this can help you get over that feeling.
He was just following the Durian law, though. And we broke out of jail anyway.
We are beyond Durian law, and he is he told he didn't have to do that. I was gonna pay him for service, and he decided to go get the guards instead.
Yeah, that is true.
Yes, he has no honor.
One might say he's a traitor.
Yeah.
And there happens to be a place in the city for people like that.
Cliff, does chess exist in this world?
Does what?
Chess. The
Chess,
game.
like the game?
Chess.
Yeah.
See, we can start helping you get over this fear because you're so good at killing. And we can get you passing back to this place because, hey, who's my best weapon? Huh? Huh? Who's my best weapon?
I'm trying so hard to figure out how to respond to that. Because Melissa's just like, it's me. And I would just be like, really?
I hate it so much.
I love it.
Melissa thinks it's great. Vakto's just like,
Who's my best friend,
me.
God damn it.
Vakto looks very conflicted. Just, I don't know.
Here, come. I'll help you get over it. And then he like grabs her by the hand and starts leading her back into the room.
For the record, tonight's episode is called "Who's My Best Weapon."
Cliff, how damaged is this mace? Is it like enough that I could go like with what I'm able to do, could I go like fix it up really quick and have brought it back in time? To, like,
Really quick, no. It looks damaged. So give me a perception or arcana check, depending on whichever you're better with.
Perception for sure. Boom!
Ooh.
So this mace, this Morning Star that you have, is very badly damaged, but as a testament of the power that it had when it was serviceable. And it has all these runes and patterns etched on it, which lead you to believe that there's more to this than what you can see just on the surface. But you would have to attune yourself to it to know the full details.
Okay. Real conflicted player moment here. So I'm gonna say, as Grimble like is looking at it as he goes away, like he hears Vakta and Vardrak coming back, and he looks at it and goes, "I probably shouldn't." Just looking at the runes and like what he knows, he's like, "Magic just fucks me over."
I need another 20 from you as well.
All right, just a D20 or perception.
Just D20.
Damn. So like having noticed the power, he like catches back up with them and goes, here," and just hands it to Vakta.
Vakta's just gonna take it and I'll set it here, and she just like leans it against the wall to come back to later.
Hey, Batsu, give me another perception check now that she set that down. So you notice that some of these patterns that are etched on here are distinctly symbols that you learned while training in the monastery for your monkin ways.
And it's a mace?
Yeah, it's a Morning Star.
Oh god, I can't use those. So as she puts it down, he like walks by and like grabs it real quick. He just looks at it.
Do you want it? I'm not gonna
Um,
use it.
I'll fix it up.
Okay.
Yeah, and as a blacksmith, both of you guys both realize that if you were to fix this back up, it probably would have some good effect to it.
Grimble, you wanna come help me with this?
Well, it might blow up in our faces, but why not? I'm in for a bit of fun.
Come on, I got a place, a special place that I do all my blacksmithing.
If you know what I mean.
Please?
And Vardrak's gonna lead Vakta back into the training room. It's like, okay, you can do this. I believe in you.
They would.
All right.
You got this.
Vakta's gonna walk up to the dwarf and draw her sharpest dagger, 'cause she's still keeping them in good repair even if she doesn't want to use them. And as she approaches the dwarf, she's not saying anything. She's going to grab his beard, take the dagger and hold it up to his neck, and then just start shaving his beard off. Because fuck you.
You bitch.
I know.
You bitch.
I said I didn't want to kill him. So what am I gonna do?
Grimble like hears the screaming from down the hall and comes running back and just like looks in the door and just has like the most horrified look on his face. And he's just like, but you could have cut off his balls and it would have been less offensive.
Boxy like puts his
shaking.
hands on your. He puts his hands on your shoulders and he's like patting you. He's like, you don't fuck with the queen, man. Let's go.
I feel it's almost like when animals, like how like animals know like distinctly like when something's going on based on the cry.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a dwarf emits a certain cry when his beard is being shaved forcefully that other dwarfs could pick up on and just feel that pain.
You monster!
Grimble just stops in the middle of the city. No.
All the dwarves poke their heads up like meerkats and shit.
All the dwarves are in the memorial garden all of a sudden. A true travesty happened today. Yeah, so you put your knife up to his throat and he's like, wait, no, don't. And then you start shaving and he's like, no! Tears just streaming down his face.
Oh.
She doesn't even like make it a clean shave. She just kind of like just make sure it's mostly gone, and it's like put him in Trader's Rest. When his beard grows back, he can leave.
I don't think that's how Trader's Rest works.
Don't care. Vakta's
Okay.
not. Here's the thing. He doesn't know that.
Okay. I just wanted you to know that Vakta would know that.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fine. That's fair.
the dwarf doesn't know that.
So the guards come in and they grab him and they start hoisting him off and he's like just like crying and screaming. He's like a fucking like a 2-year-old throwing a tantrum at this point, except for he's like restrained. And as the guards walk by, they stop and they look at Vardrak. As per usual, we'll wait for you before we start anything.
Very well. I will be there
And-
shortly.
and they carry him off out of the castle.
Well, I guess that's a start. I thought maybe you'd want to be the one to, yeah.
No. Not for something from so long ago. But thank you.
I'll do better next
God.
time. I'll find someone that you can't help but stab to death. Yes.
Octa looks mildly worried, but she doesn't say anything. She's just thinking of how can I get around it next time.
Well, is it? Shall we go and tend to this last bit of business then?
Yes, sure, absolutely.
Right. He takes her by the arm and starts walking out to Trader's Rest.
As they walk by one of the fields, Fox is like, "Oh, I left my stuff there," and she just leaves, or at least makes an attempt. She's like, "Oh no," and just walks away.
Are you gonna let her walk away, John?
He's going to like hold you a little bit tighter and says, "This will be just a moment," and continues walking forward.
My stuff is.
Yeah, we'll get it in just a moment. Yep, it won't be long.
Holy shit, we just had this huge eruption of thunder here.
Yeah.
It's not even raining here.
So if the stream cuts off, guys, I apologize.
Yeah.
It was
I'm
God,
only like
not
an
me.
hour away from you. There's nothing here.
It, like, out of nowhere, it was just like, boom, and then now I hear just rain pouring. Like, that opened up the clouds. So are you guys, if you look onto the little map, are you guys going to be making your way over to the proper area for this ceremony?
Yes.
Or are you going to be making it over to Spectator's Point for this ceremony?
They're making their way downtown.
Roderick's gonna let
Fast.
her choose.
That's fast. That's from
You're
No.
right. You're right. Up close and personal. And he wants to.
No.
Gonna head around and get close.
Okay. So as you guys make your way through the town, you take in everything along the way. It's still sort of new to you guys. So as you walk out of the castle, there's this long winding road that's just lined by these beautifully manicured trees. And on both sides are these large crop fields that are planted, so no matter where you're standing, as you look to the left and right, you can see down the rows of crops. It's like perfectly aligned with it. As you get to the midway point, there's this giant 20-foot statue that's there of King Vardrak Rin, first of his name, champion of Tiamat, slayer of dragons, rider of dragons, freer of slaves. And yes, there is a placard at the bottom with that.
That's not how that works.
You'll have to talk to the king, milady.
Believe me. The minute that plaque went up, she started having words. I was like, I'm the one that freed the slaves. I need a statue that says Queen Vakta, a slave freer. Come on.
Hey, the goblins made you a statue. You didn't like it.
You want to go there? That statue is made of literal shit.
You guys continue down the path. You pass by the Temple of Tiamat, over to this area where there's this large memorial set up on the left to honor all those that were lost during the Orcus incident, with this big gravestone in the middle with Selfie's name on it. You guys pass over this bridge that overlooks this chasm that once was filled with lava that demons birthed from and crawled from this abyss that is now this seemingly bottomless pit. You guys cross over through the plaza area where all of the administrative buildings are, and you make your way over to this finely crafted wooden deck that is hanging half off of this chasm with guardrails on both the left and right, but none on the back. And standing there with his back facing the pit is this dwarf, and one of the guard captains standing next to him. And as you guys approach, he looks to Vardrak for the nod.
Would you like to do the honors, my lady?
No.
Come on, this is not actually you doing it. You're just giving permission for it to happen.
Do the finger thing.
Baby
Do the
steps.
gladiator thing.
Yes.
Vakta just like looks deadpan at Vardrak and just raises an eyebrow, and she's just not saying anything.
I think the eyebrow is a yes. And then looks over to the captain.
And the guard captain says, "Dwarf, we need not give you a name, for your crime is treason. And a traitor such as you only has one fate ahead of them." And as he says it, he like Sparta kicks him in the chest. And the dwarf goes flying off of the edge of this deck. And you just hear the screams as he plummets into this pit. And as you guys are standing there, the screams continue for a few minutes before they actually become inaudible. They never suddenly stop. It's just a gradual, ah!
I'm still falling.
Well, there you go, my lady. Like you said, when he served his sentence, we'll let him go.
And then
So I'm not sure how that works, but
the guard,
Vakta just nods and is like, "Yeah, you're right," and she turns around to leave.
and the guard he addresses, like there's a few people that are standing on the opposite side that are watching this happen, and a few people that have gathered. "And let this be a note in history for anyone who dares to betray the kingdom of Dracarius, for your fate will be the same." And then he like snaps at attention, and all the guards that are around snap at attention, and they look at Vardrak.
Vardrak gives a nod of appreciation, turns around and follows Vakta.
And with that nod, they all salute off, and then they all get back to their duties.
Good job, Vakta.
She's already turned around and started walking out. She's like beelining back towards the farm to finish working on what she was working on before.
And by this time, the sun is already starting to fall, and it's getting night out. So, Grimble, as the sun dips below the horizon, stone sober as you are, all of a sudden you just start to feel really drunk. Super inebriated for some reason, as your intelligence is cut in half.
Can you guys fucking not for like one game?
Jesus Christ.
Cut in half? I mean, I wasn't smart to begin with, but you're taking me from a +1 to a -2.
Correct.
Working on this maze, all of a sudden his gets derp eyes.
I think
He just hits
Batsu
himself in the
goes
head and it's like, wait.
on the mace and that-
Yeah, like, he goes back to work with Batsu on the mace, and he's just like, I got this. Chicka, boom, and the hammer like nails him in the face.
Yeah, like Batsu, you're standing there working with him, and you guys are talking about how you're gonna restore this mace, and all of a sudden, like mid sentence, he just stops talking, and you just see this like glazed over look in his eyes, and he's like,
I know this isn't a gun. Come on. Like, what are you looking at?
And Grimble just like picks up the mace and like draws Typhoon from the back of his pouch and just like tries to put the mace into the barrel.
He like grabs it and he puts it down. Maybe we could do this a different day. I feel like you need something, like need a drink right now.
Cliff,
yeah.
does the mace fit in the barrel? I need to know for science reasons.
Give me a percentile die.
For science reasons.
Oh no.
Oh.
It sure does.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
So like, just with this like dumbed over look on his face, as Batsu reaches over to like take the gun out of his hand, he just and pulls the trigger.
Give me an attack roll.
No, I just got the place.
So, for science purposes, where
Oh,
is
this
this
in
gun?
the sewer.
Where is this gun pointing at right now?
Big
Oh.
explosion in the sewer right now.
Like down one of the sewer lines that goes to connect off to like one of the other branches.
So you're just aiming it like in the open area. You're not like
Yeah.
pointing it at Batsu or anything.
No, it's not pointed at anyone. It's just like he had like just picked it up, loaded up, and it was just in what that like same angled position that he had loaded the mace in,
Uh-huh.
just kind of staring at it.
Click.
Yeah.
Give me a damage roll real quick.
Oh god. Let me see if I can do something about this. Okay,
God
hold
damn.
on. Let me
We might use this strategy for
with,
later.
with Batsu's speed, would I be allowed to attempt to catch this thing?
Just like as it fires, you just grab onto the handle and
So before I answer this, walk me through what would he do to attempt to prevent this from happening?
So he sees the mace in this thing and he starts to panic because it slides in perfectly.
Oh yeah, like right up,
And-
like almost up to the fucking spike at the spiked ball at the tip. Like it's like.
And as he sees Grimble like smile just grow on his face, he knows something is about to happen.
This derpy ass smile.
So
He's
he's
like-
like ready to fucking chase this thing down and catch it before it hits something.
Sure. We'll say you could do that. Give me an acrobatics.
What happened to my defense? Okay.
oh, God. Also, I'm saving this knowledge for later. Once we find out what this mace does, I'm totally shooting it and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he shoots it off and it hits the ceiling and it ricochets off and you dive down and catch it. It looks a little bit worse than it did when you first got it, but it didn't destroy the mace or anything. But he's just got this like.
So he puts the Mace in the back into the vault. He locks his door as he's coming out. He's like, I'll fix that for you. Let's go and get you something to drink.
It's just nods and like walks towards her, walks with Matsu.
And this ladder, where does that end up? Is that like that
the
little-
one that's inside of your little area?
Is that the trees?
Yeah, it takes you right inside the trees. So you guys had the entrance put in here behind the trees once you moved the crew into Vakta's old house. And it takes it right into like the main lobby area, if you will, of your little thieves guild.
Okay. Yeah, we come out of there and guiding him over to the tavern.
All right, so Grimble and Batsu are in the tavern. Where did Vardrak and Vakta end up? Melissa, I can't hear you.
Play D&D with you guys. I warned you. This is your own fault.
Vakta tried to go back to farming. I don't know if Vardrak let her.
Yeah, he's just keeping you company. Like he's since like the exorcism, he's just been very clean.
Helicopter.
Yeah.
Oh, then Vakta's gonna try to put him to work and be like, okay, go plant this over there and do this, and she's just gonna start directing him on.
Give
Go
me a
pull those
survival
weeds.
check.
Me?
No.
Okay, great.
I don't think there's a nature in this. I think survival's the closest there is to that, right?
I think so.
Probably.
Oh, no, there is a nature. Give me a nature check, John.
Oh, what have I done?
I was gonna say Vardrak is actually like he sees like someone using like one of the horses to plow, and like he's strapping on another plow and he's challenging the horse to race the plow.
That sounds more destructive. I like it. Give me an athletics check.
What? I'm gonna say Vakta's not even noticing this. Like she's just like pretending none of this happened, and it's just like pulling weeds and just like, well.
Yeah, he's like making a spectacle and getting people's attention so they can see how awesome their king is, and Vardrak.
Oh God, then Vakta would totally notice.
Hey, John, give me a percentile die, and heads are call high or low.
We'll go high. That ain't high.
So, good news and bad news. Good news is you beat the horse.
That's right.
Bad news is you destroyed about a week's worth of crops in the process.
With the plow?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you
Turned
were just
into the
running
horse?
straight through. You were running straight through everything. So the thing's skipping around and fucking up the ground, and the areas that were already like sort of in order kind of cascade around, and it's kicking and knocking that over.
But did the people enjoy it?
Yeah,
Yeah. I would say that you got a pretty good. Yeah. They loved it. They fucking loved it.
God.
Yes.
Everyone except for the person whose field that you're doing.
Yeah. I'm sure that
Vakta.
farmer's gonna be a little bit pissed off, but yeah, I mean,
If the does the farmer say anything to Vardrak?
no, he wouldn't.
Okay, I was gonna compensate him, but never mind.
No, I think that they would at this point know not to say shit to the king. He's just sitting there like a single tear rolling down his cheek, like I can fix this later. It's no big deal.
Why?
It's just a week's worth of work. I mean,
Family can go hungry for a little bit.
my life expectancy is only like 35. Like, what's a week?
Vakta's just gonna like run her hand through her hair and just stare at it, and then just be like, do you want me to start to help? Like, how can I fix this? Because she's gonna hand 10 gold to the farmer and just like start like trying to put things back into order. Best
She's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. I got this. It's fine.
Vardrak comes over. He's like, "What you had him go for? Did he win the bet? Ha! He bet on me. Good job."
This is fine.
Ready to retire for the night?
Sure.
All right, let's go. He starts heading off.
She still gave 10 gold to the farmer anyway, whether he wanted it or not. She's like, no, take it.
Okay, go ahead and subtract that from your inventory.
I will.
Batsu and Grimble, what's going on with 6 intelligence Grimble inside the bar?
She's giving him 20 gold because it makes it a nice number to me.
Okay.
How long have we been in there?
You guys have been in the bar for about 20 minutes or so. I would say you have a drink in you.
Okay. Gribble's just kind of like sitting there, not moving around a whole lot, but just like every time a girl that's like any kind of attractive, like on any level, walks by, she's like, just like without trying to mask it, just super loud and obnoxious, just being a perv. And it just gets worse the more he drinks.
Like slowly drinking in his chair.
Like, bro, that was a half orc. Oh.
Oh, this is bad.
Like Gribble finishes off the drink that he has, and he like just looks at the cup, and he's just like looking through the end of it, and just like looking around through the end of the mug.
So for one, they know not to give Grimble a glass, so you're drinking out of probably like a wooden...
That's fair.
Grimble and I going back to normal after 3 weeks. I'm hoping the reverse kind of thing happens to him, where he gets stupid if he's sober.
That would be great, wouldn't it? Like he starts drinking and he's like, are we going to go back to fixing this or what?
That would be amazing.
But no, he gets stupider.
Oh my god. He's gonna put all of his copper, because I don't want that shit, onto the bar, and he's like, keep him busy until he passes out.
And he's just up at the bar, just glass after glass after glass, just going to town.
So, 1,700 copper. I don't know what that turns into, but I don't want that shit.
1,700?
Yeah.
That's 1.7 platinum. No, 1.7 gold.
Gold.
Okay. So, how much can that get Grimble for the night?
Fucked up.
Alright, yeah.
I mean, you got to figure that, like, bottom barrel, like, the shit that would taste disgusting to any civilized person but delicious to a dwarf is probably, like, 8 copper.
Okay. You know what? Let's make it just 700 then.
No, all of it.
No, make it all of it. Go big or go home.
I mean,
Oh,
See him dumping out all this copper on this poor man's.
yeah, he just opens a bag of copper and dumps it. Keeps 1,000 copper to himself, I guess, and just leaves the tavern. He's like, I don't want him leaving here.
As you dump that all out, one of the patrons at the bar looks at Grimble and says, how about your friend and I have a little fisticuffs for that money?
Ooh.
oh.
Wait, looking at me or Batsu?
Looking at you. He's talking to Batsu, saying,
Oh. Okay.
That's great.
Batsu's walking out. He's like, he's his own man. You don't need to ask me for shit. And he leaves the tavern. And he sticks his head back in. He's like, Grimble, no fucking shooting. Don't shoot. And he leaves.
So as Batsu walks out, this guy, who Grimble probably wasn't even paying attention to saying anything, walks up and is attempting to take the 700 gold or 700 copper off of the bar right in front of Grimble.
Grimble like sees him motioning for it, and he just takes like his now full mug and just slams it down into the middle of the coin, and it just flies everywhere, like trying to hit his hand as he's taking it. And he just looks over and goes, "Ugh." Just keeps drinking.
Go ahead, give me a perception check at disadvantage, please.
I was about to say. Where to go? Perception.
Oh.
So you see this guy coming in for a second time trying to take the money. He's trying to be sneaky about it, but he failed.
At this point, like, Grimble's just getting pissed. And he's also getting mad. So he, like, stands up and, like, throws his chair back. And he has the mug that he's currently holding in his hand and just smashes it over the guy's head.
Oh, nice. Give me a generic attack roll. You could just do it. You could even do like the unarmed one if you want to. Any of your attack rolls should be about the same.
Boom.
Oh yeah, that definitely hits.
God.
Go ahead and give me a D8.
Damn it, Cliff! You sent that storm this way.
I mean, I didn't do that. I'm only god of Amethil. Yeah, so you crack this dude in the face for 6 damage, shattering the wooden mug, just splintering it. And this guy just cocks back and throws a punch your way, misses completely.
And a few.
Drunken fist. Triple multi-class this level.
Where are my hand axes? Oh, there they are.
Wait, no, there's no hand axes in a bar fight. What are you doing?
I'm dumb and I'm drunk. He doesn't know that.
That's true.
At least he's not shooting him.
Yeah, he didn't shoot him.
Do you honestly think he could get his gun off of his back right now?
I'm sure he could. I mean, drunk or not, I'm pretty sure he's proficient at reaching backwards.
That's fair. Okay.
Pointed backwards.
So, don't give me ideas, John. So, he's gonna like fumble slightly and like manage to get the gun off of his back and like fumble with it, like trying to figure out which direction it goes, and like he manages to point it at the right direction, like kind of at the guy, but more like towards the ground. And so it's more just like it's pointed, his hands are pointed at him, but it's just pointed straight down into the ground. And he lets off a shot like right near his own feet, because I imagine this gun's got to be like as long as he is.
God. So you just go ahead and give me an attack roll with it for one. Let's see what happens. As you pull this out and just let it loose, the barkeep yells out, "Merrick, tell the king Grimble's doing it again." And someone just breaks out running out of the tavern.
How long after I left is all this going on?
Minutes.
I'm probably in the sewer or in Mogami's house. Fuck it. Not my problem.
So yeah, so
Shoots a
you
hole through the floor, and I go into the sewer again.
God.
Like right in front of where Batu is, the ceiling just collapses, and Grimble just falls through.
What happened? Where am I? So this you let this shot loose and it just kind of ricochets off, and as you do, this guy throws another punch at you.
God, this guy got some balls.
Misses.
And he sucks at
Completely.
throwing punches.
Yeah, he
was
does.
Trying his best.
Yeah, but he's a fucking shit fighter, though.
It's gonna turn out to be some kid. It's gonna turn out to be Chodo.
Grimble just got it out for teenagers. First Chodo, now this asshole.
And the guy, as he's throwing the punch, he's like, "Why don't you put that down and fight me like a man?"
Ooh.
What's his name?
Could do something really dumb, but I'm not going to.
That would be totally out of character for Grimble.
Popping an old.
That's not too dissimilar to what I was thinking. So Gribble hears him yelling at him. He's just not fully comprehending what this dude's trying to tell him, and so he just slings the weapon back over his back and just tries to focus on his hands for a second and can't really grasp the concept of what hands are, and so he can't quite make a fist, and so he just tries to open hand slap this dude.
As you do, you get punched square in the face for 3 damage.
Grimble's out.
For 3? Fuck off!
Yeah, so you're and then between your hands, this fist just wow.
You're trying to figure out how to make a fist, then it hits you.
God damn it!
And around this time, back at the castle, Varjak, you got this young elf running in there, and he's like, "Your Majesty, Gribble's at the Feathered Stag, and he's grimbling."
Again.
He's grimbling.
I imagine the kid runs up to Vardrak and he doesn't even quite say anything yet, and Vardrak just and starts walking.
Exactly that.
He pulled the gun out immediately this time.
Vardrak is shaking his head as he's walking. Far down.
Of course.
You can't say I don't bring comedic value.
So back at the
Someone
bar.
say that?
So back at the bar, this guy just hit you with another punch, followed up with it.
Ooh, 3 damage. And by this time, after getting hit a couple of times, Grimble's oh, and then starts going back with his normal swings. And misses. Probably.
Yeah, that's a miss.
Ooh.
Hey.
Nothing like critting for 2.
Oh yeah, that was a crit. Sorry, 1 more damage. Boom.
Jesus Christ.
This guy's weak as fuck.
You just gonna stand there and let him keep punching you?
No, I'm going.
Okay.
I didn't realize that this is what was
No,
going
you
on.
wait.
Yeah, this is what's going down right now.
We're just we're just throwing blows back and forth. There we go.
Yeah, that's a hit for sure.
Waited all week for this. I'm so glad I did.
Woo, 2 base.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
So with that, that was
My
so with
AC is
that
4
that
oh, wait,
was-
no, you hit 14. Never mind.
that was his 5th hit on you. So he actually knocked you unconscious.
What?
He got 5 hits on you before you got 5 hits on him. So he knocked you out. Kaboom.
As long as my shit stays on me, whatever. I don't know. That's Batsu's money. I don't care about the money. He just wanted the drinks.
Yeah, so by the time Vardrak gets there, Grimble is sleeping on the floor. And this guy is taking the money and like swiping it off the counter into a bag, and he's like, "Don't worry, I took care of it."
Bardrak surveys the area. He looks at the guys and says, "You won?
Fair and square.
All right, take your winnings and go." Then he goes over to the barkeep. Says, "How much damage this time?"
Surprisingly none.
All right, good. He leans down and finds Grimble's money bag.
You motherfucker.
He's gonna take 50 gold out of it and slide it over to the bartender.
That's fair.
I'll go ahead and take the 50 from you.
He ties it back on his belt, picks him up, slumps him over his shoulder, and then just walks out. And where is Grimble sleeping now over
Just
the
in the
course
keep.
of 5 years?
In the castle.
Yeah, during the
Alright.
castle, yeah.
Don't you dare call it a keep. Word has it that calling the castle a keep is treason. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what the peasants on the street are saying.
I like to imagine like the one time that they threatened to throw Grimble into the big rift. Vokta's like, no, I don't want to listen to "wee" for 12 years.
His voice carries. It's just it'll be forever.
So loud.
Yeah, he's gonna take him back and like just toss him on his bed and then come out, lock the door, and tell one of the guards like don't let him out till he's sobered up.
It's cute that you think a lock can keep me in a room.
It's cute that you think that he's ever sober.
Just say.
Like, as you go to throw me on the bed, you have to just like wade through piles of bottles that are on the floor.
So, is Grimble right-handed or left-handed?
Right.
What would his hand be doing at this moment?
As he's laying there?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He could be sucking his thumb. It could be still making a fist. Like, he could be, like, what
Only a drink.
Honestly, like, probably, like, he'd, like, get thrown on his back and, like, his arms would, like, flay out, and there's just a pile of bottles sitting right here. So, like, just as a reflexive action, he probably, like, grabs a bottle and, like, tries to lift it up to his face, just not even consciously.
Okay. And with that, is everybody headed to bed? What are we all doing at this point? I'm assuming Vokta's probably already asleep.
You wouldn't be wrong. But sleep.
Yeah, Vardrak's gonna head to sleep.
Batsu?
Look, I have to
Batsu
live
should be-
vicariously, okay?
So yeah, so you guys, everybody heads to bed.
My -6 to intelligence, the whole.
So as,
I'm gonna do my amelioration roll.
yeah, go ahead.
You wouldn't let me do it before.
That is a success.
Yay.
Burp. And with that, you are now at 18 Constitution.
Damn. Jesus.
And that was the last of your amelioration set.
Yep.
So
I
you
still
can't
have more health.
can't do that for a little bit longer. So yeah, so you sometime before all of this goes down, do your training. I assume you were doing your training as the guy came in there, and you just kept like this sack of weights on you as you walk over to the tavern.
Yeah.
Doing like lunges the whole way. Like the guy's trying to like, Your Majesty, this is kind of important. Pick up your pace a little bit if you don't. No? Okay, yep, it's fine. I'll go ahead. I'll get the door for you. So, is Batsu doing anything?
No, he was going to, but no. That was enough for him.
Okay. Okay, so you guys are awoken by the sounds of trumpets. And as you guys gather to hear, you can hear the guard announcing the approach of the Queen of Durian.
Ooh.
Vardrak's gonna look confusingly at Vakta like, were we expecting her?
Gribble hears the trumpets and he's
Fine.
just like, and picks the covers up and hides back.
So
under it.
as you do that, you're still holding on to this bottle, and you realize you cannot unform your hand from this position like this.
What the hell is going on?
He
But
goes
you
to
do
pick
feel-
up the blanket and just like smashes the bottle on the wall.
Yeah, that's fair. And you cut yourself for 6 damage. And even after the glass falls out of your hand is still stuck in this position. You're of sound mind. You feel sober, you feel fine, but for some reason you just cannot get your dominant hand out of this position.
Oh no.
Like, wait, so I lose mobility in my trigger finger?
You could pull it still.
Just have to like put my thumb in there and
Yeah,
hook it
put
and
your
like.
thumb
What time of day is it, Cliff? Holy shit.
So early.
It's fine.
Why?
I mean,
Grimble's
Vardrak?
like, why? The sun's not even fully up yet. Why?
You think Vakto's getting out of bed at 5 a.m.? What kind of heathen are you?
It's your bestie, though.
Okay. If it's 5 a.m., Vardrak and Ravage were just about to go into the training room when they hear this, and then he turns around and goes back and starts waking up Vakta.
She takes a swing at him. It's been a long time since anyone has woken up in the morning, and she just like swing.
Go ahead and do an
like
attack roll.
Not like
the last 5 years, he has not woken you up for training and everything. He has actually let you sleep. So yes, this is new.
Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Told y'all not to take any damage this game.
Must be fucking nice.
she's just flailing her arm.
He just stands there and lets you punch him. It's like, baby.
That's really accurate.
Yeah.
Stop laughing at
Old
me.
favorite weapon.
Oh, what?
It looks like God, what the fuck's her name?
You hear the guard saying, Announcing Queen Rihanna Inavir of Durian.
Yeah, she's here.
So,
Look, if I had asked her to come here, I would have been later in the day.
shit, it's probably about the dwarf. Vagna rolls out of bed and like looks for a nice gown, so she like looks nice and queenly when she goes to talk to the other queen.
Yeah, well, that gift was in secret thanks to Batsu, so she knows nothing of it. He gets on his nice little robes as well and starts heading out with her.
Nice and in secret, huh?
Yes.
I bet she still knows somehow. She knows everything.
Well, if you let her
creepy.
think that.
I'm not gonna mention it. We'll see what she wants.
And as you guys are talking, you hear the main doors to the castle open.
Vardrak is gonna go and stand in front of his throne.
And you see that there's 2 guards that have opened the door, and the queen walks in. And these 5 years really haven't been that kind to her.
Oh.
You see that she looks aged.
Unfortunate.
Her normal kind of youth, like tautness of the skin is kind of relaxed and a little bit more, and she has bags under her eyes. And she walks in, and she walks up to you, and she holds out her hand.
Towards which one?
Towards Vardrak.
Vardrak will take her hand and kiss the back of it.
Well, as you take her hand, she drops 10 platinum in it.
He's like, this was meant as a gesture.
Well, consider it a down payment.
For?
And she, like, looks around, like, who all's in the room right now?
I think it's Vardrak and I and the guards. I don't think we grabbed anyone else. Unless Ravage is in there.
Gribble
Yeah, he's standing
woke
beside
up.
him.
But I know I'm not.
You're muted,
Jake's
Jake.
muted.
He woke up, but he didn't get up.
God damn it, Jake, you beat me to it again. So she looks to the 2 guards and she's like, "Can we talk in private?"
Did she come in with any of her own guards?
No.
Oh.
Interesting.
Vakta's gonna shoo the guards away.
Ravage is gonna stay put next to Vardrak.
Yeah, I was not shooing Ravage away.
As soon as they close the doors, and he's like, "It's safe to talk now."
Did you have anything to do with this?
Deal with what? He takes a seat at his throne.
Have you seen the jackal lately?
Not for 5 years. Not since the battle.
Not since the fall of Orcus.
I can't help but think that he has something to do with this, with my appearance, with... Do you all understand what is required of a lich?
I feel like Vardrak would know based off his paladin studies, so I'm gonna roll an insight check.
Vakta doesn't know anything, and she just kind of like... It's silent for a moment, and she's like, I do not.
Whether good, bad, or indifferent, my power requires the sacrifice of souls. With me being the queen, it allowed me to be in a position that those who betrayed the city, murderers, the like, gave me a supply of souls throughout the years. Up until recently. And as she's saying this, she like drops her robe, and she's just wearing like an undergarment. But as she drops it, you see like her bones are protruding through, and she's looking very like sickly and skeletal. But lately,
Oh.
it has not been working. You know nothing of this?
After the battle, he disappeared, and we have not heard from him since. One of my allies might be able to call upon him, but I can't guarantee that the Jackal will answer. But why do you assume it's him?
Well, after the incident where he bartered with my phylactery, he's the only person that I can assume would have known where to find this.
Huh.
So your phylactery is missing?
No, that's the thing. The phylactery is there. The ritual is there. Nothing has changed except I can no longer absorb the souls. But yet the phylactery feeds. It feeds on this mortal body. And if I don't fix this sometime soon, what little humanity I have will be consumed with it.
Okay.
Be right back.
Well, I mean, besides the Jackal, the only other person that I can think of would be Behumat, who you had one-sided dealings with. What if he is pissed off at you?
I don't think that he could do this, though. Like, outside of Loviatar, the goddess that gave me this power, I don't know who could take it away. But our deal, I have not squelched on our deal. It is still going.
What were the terms of that deal?
She required that the souls that were sacrificed undergo great suffering before their death. They were already proven criminals. I just had to make sure that they suffered.
So the diamond mines.
The diamond mines are part of it, but sometimes there was great torture.
Did everyone that got sent to those diamond mines receive the same end result? And as
No.
he's saying this, he's kind of like looking at Vakta.
No. Most that went to the mines were just there for the physical labor. The very select few that actually needed to be sacrificed, they were typically kept in a private chamber of the castle.
Well, I mean, I don't know what it is that I can do for you. I can offer to have our priests look into the books and see if there's anything that they know, but most of our books are on how to kill the undead. Don't think it would necessarily help you in this case.
Yeah, and like she kind of like snaps for a second. She's like,
I don't need a priest.
I'm sorry. I don't need a priest. Do you have a way to contact the jackal?
Vardrak leans over to Ravage, whispers something, then Ravage nods and then starts heading out of the castle. And he's going to get Batsu and bring him back. If you give us a moment, we're going to see what we can do to help. As I said, we are going to stand by you, and we're going to do everything that we can. But again, I can't promise that the jackal will answer. I don't know what he's been doing. And you may also want to know that he is now in possession of the life cutter.
She like dips down and she grabs her robe and she puts it back on. Do you have anything strong to drink?
He looks over the Vakta for that.
Vakta kind of like reaches behind her throne and pulls out a bottle of wine. It's like, I don't have glasses at the ready, but I do have this. And she just presents the wine to the other queen and then pulls out a second for herself.
Yeah, she just grabs it and just like tips it.
And like ever since that throne has been built, like Vardrak has the same reaction. He keeps looking for where the hell they're coming from.
For shits and giggles, give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're just hidden compartments.
Against Vardrak's perception, it ain't happening.
It's a plus 15 anyway.
Oh my fucking
Yeah.
god.
Why do I have a
Not
plus
happening.
16? I'll take it. Whatever.
Do you want to roll perception to challenge that?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Could you even hit that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so you see her reach back there and then it's like it's really weird. Like she like reaches and it's like where the fuck did that come from?
Did you have that in your sleeve under the throne? Where the fuck?
Oh, I know where it came from.
Like he looks so confused and looks back at you and is like, you're so amazing.
I'm
Could make so many
blessed.
jokes, but I'm not going to.
I think there's only 2 bottles. Come on.
Something butt bottle, something.
Yeah, he's just going to be filling her in on everything that happened with the battle with Orcus and everything until Batsu gets here.
So Batsu Ravage come and gets you, and I'm assuming you follow him. Unless you put up a fight against it, I don't know, but you're mute, whatever you're saying.
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna follow him.
So after a few minutes, Ravage returns with Batsu.
And Vardrak gestures towards Batsu and says, "You remember my companion."
I didn't do anything.
And Vardrak puts up a hand. He's like, "She just has some questions."
She's like, "Tell me what you know about a dwarf." I knew I caught you,
fucking
you son of a
asshole.
bitch.
Oh my god.
And she's like, Vardrak seems to think that you may be able to contact the jackal.
Possibly, yeah.
I request an audience with him.
And Vasu is just smiling. He goes and like sits down on the floor next to Vardrak. He's just smiling at her, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll try to get in contact with him right now." But it's kind of funny, you know. You need my help, you know, after all this time of you trying to kill me.
Do this
He just,
for me, and I clear your name in Durian.
Just mine or the
All
Black
of them.
Diamonds? That is very kind of you. And he,
But this does not give you a free pass. I will not hold your past transgressions against you. But if you do anything to shirk the laws, you will be held accountable like anyone else.
We got that same deal once. It's a good one, Batsu. Take it.
he like holds up a fist bump to Vardrak and he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm a law-abiding citizen here." He's like fixing up his robe. And he just sits down on the floor. He's crossing his legs, and he like looks like he starts meditating and just calling out to the jackal, seeing if he could get any kind of response from him.
And for my knowledge, do monks get anything like a meditative thing or anything like that?
I didn't really far into his monk side, but I think they like just meditate instead of sleep. Really, it's not really something that they get.
Give me an Arcana check. And like as you go into your meditative state, you hear the voice of the jackal. He like booms out like, "So, praying to your god already?"
A slight chuckle in his head, and he's like, the Lich Queen seems to want your presence here."
Does she now?
And he's in his head. He's I'm assuming this has something to do with the killing of one or two gods.
Well, for now, just tell her you couldn't reach me.
Fair enough.
There's more that I have planned for our dear Queen of Durian.
Sounds good. And he just comes out of this, and he's like sitting forward. No response at all, just silence.
She kind of like squints her eyes at you.
Oh shit.
And he like raises his palm and shows his skin kind of crackles a little bit and reveals a scar that he has hidden up on his hand. Like, this is all he gave me. He said I'm bound to him, so I did what I can. Ooh.
I think you're lying.
Oh shit.
Give you my word.
Haha.
Damn.
No, I-
Wouldn't lie at the cost of my family's freedom, Durian.
She's still just like squinting.
She don't trust you.
So, Varjak, if I find out anything more about this, can I enlist in your assistance in getting towards the bottom of it? If you're
Muted.
talking, you're muted.
Hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay. This is, of course, we're allies. I mean, what affects you is going to affect us. We'll stand with you now. We'll stand with you if Bayomat's forces come back trying to take over your town again. Whatever you need. But we should probably be realistic about this. You don't have any heirs to the throne there in Durian? No next of kin? No anything in case this doesn't work out?
I have arrangements made, but that is not what I fear. My fears go deeper into the process of lichdom.
Losing control?
That is part of it. Give me a persuasion check. Once the phylactery has fed on this human body, I will be trapped inside of it for all eternity. What this means is decaying and becoming a demi-lich, which will undo thousands of years of research and progress that I've made as the queen. With all the things that I know, the secrets that I hold, the powers that I wield, it's not good for anyone. John, you're still muted.
I don't think he's muted. I think his headphones and mic are acting up.
That's true.
I heard you say, let's try this.
Testing?
Yep.
Kinda, yeah.
Do you have to hold it to get it right?
I haven't had this problem before. But anyways, um, so you never wrote these secrets down anywhere?
For others to find?
Well, I'm sure you could keep them secret just as you do with your phylactery.
Yeah, which is why I call the jackal into question.
You think he might be after your knowledge?
I don't know. I don't know what his motives could be. I don't even know how he could do this. But if not him, then I have no idea.
So you strongly believe that you do have an enemy and a number one suspect. Okay. Would you prefer that these secrets be passed on or kept here? Is it useful? You said it's not useful to anyone. Like, what good is it then?
If in the wrong hands, it would be bad. But in my hands, without inhibition, without control, it would be even worse.
Well, you, in all of your hundreds of years, have not found someone worthy of passing on that information to?
It's not about passing on the information. It's about the de-evolution of my current state. Like, don't you understand? I will not die if this happens. I will change.
Right. I get that. So it's a race to figure out who is behind it, if we can even stop it. And if we fail, then we have to deal with something evil inside of you that is clawing to get out.
An evil passed down by the god of suffering.
Okay. Well, then we just have to find a way to prevent that from happening.
And the only way is to find out what is happening. I cannot die. So it's find out or I change.
How many people know about this situation outside of this room?
2.
Do we know these two?
My guard captain and one of my advisors.
And what is their contingency plan if you become this new you?
I have given them the means to slow me down. That's it. What they know, I know. That is the danger of this all. No matter what we discuss, no matter what plan B we come up with, I know what it is.
Well, you do realize, and don't take this as a threat, that you are a lich that has knowledge that you may become a bigger lich, and you brought this information to the only paladin in the land, which any other paladin would come with the obvious conclusion that you should die right now to erase the threat, which is, of course, not my solution.
Well, I know that you are smart enough to know that I cannot die. And at this point in the game, without the ability to regenerate, striking down this mortal body will only hasten the process.
Do you have any idea how much time you have before this body gives up or gives way to the decay?
Well, what you're looking at is about 3 months. I don't know if I have that much longer.
Then we should really think about containment, shouldn't we? Just for your safety and everyone else's.
If you have an idea, don't share it with me.
Yeah, if things don't fall through, is there a way to get you back? Or is that just it?
I will still be here. My humanity will not.
Is there any way to return humanity to you?
Not without the sacrifice of the soul. And apparently even with that now.
Hmm.
The opposite of dibs, I'm gonna call that.
Okay. You are much older than all of us. What would you
Combined.
do if you were us?
I feel like she would have already done that if she could.
I have exhausted every option that I can think to. The irony of asking a paladin to aid a lich does not miss me. If you do not know about this, the only person that may is the jackal. Whether he's behind it or whether he just knows. But if he can't help, I have no plan B.
We will get to the bottom of this for you, but going to need 3 conditions met. The first condition is that you have to share with us whatever information you gave to your advisor and your captain, just so that we can also be prepared in case they fail. I think you would agree that's a logical decision.
That one I cannot agree to, as it's not about information, but rather 2 items from my past. They will trigger this. And I need my advisor and my guard captain to have them. So one can get the other free.
All right. Fair enough. Condition number 2. And this is going to prove how much you actually do trust us. But I need your phylactery for our own safekeeping and so that we can keep it protected.
And what's the third?
The third And I don't know if you're prepared for this. But the third, he leans forward. Is that you're gonna have to finally admit that we're friends. Huh? Huh?
Proctor just reaches behind the throne, pulls out a third bottle of wine, and hands it to Dwayne. Like, here you go. have another. It's what gets me through the day.
she takes the bottle and she just like falls to the ground in a sitting position, like completely unqueen like.
We have so much in common.
So I agree to your second condition, but there's a caveat. As part of my oh shit plan, I have warded and secured my phylactery in a way in which even I do not know where all the traps and runes are. I paid a few people a great deal of coin to ensure that it stays safe, because if this mortal body fails, my soul will be reborn at that phylactery.
Exactly, which would make it a lot more difficult to do what is needed.
But me being able to wake up in a familiar location of my own accord was too dangerous to let go. I can tell you where the phylactery is, and she takes a swig of the wine, display our friendship, allow you to go get it. But the dangers and perils that you face, you will have to tackle as they come.
It's a necessity if we're going to save you.
Can't be anything worse than a fucking demon lord.
Orcus was short-sighted. But if we are in agreement, I will send word for you to get the location of the phylactery. I don't even know where it is.
All right. That will help. In the meantime, you have the knowledge of what you are, what your limits are, and everything. I can't stress heavily enough that maybe you should put yourself in a bit of a warded prison, in some sort of stasis, whatever you can muster. We'll take care of the rest.
Vardrak, do you know what it's like to give up everything for a god who just abandons you?
He looks down for a moment.
Loaded question.
And then like after like seems like just way too long of pondering, and like he looks back up and says, I'm feel like I'm recently learning what that's like.
I have given hundreds, if not thousands, of years to Loviatar for her to just disappear. I never asked for anything more than this power, which I got far more than a young elf would have dreamed about.
Would we have heard anything from mages, like, about their powers disappearing? Like, any other instance where someone who serves a god would have lost powers?
Inside of Amethil, probably not, no.
Okay.
No, outside of like your experiences with Vardrak, and them not being able to get a response from Tiamat in a while. But they've never lost their powers.
Okay.
So she like stands up and she straightens her robe out. She like hands the bottle back to Vakta.
Just disappears behind the throne.
How does she keep doing that?
Magic.
You look back there and there's just nothing. You're like, what the fuck?
I just assume like the throne is like an open base throne too. Like as she like reaches back, like she has the bottle, and like when she reaches behind this thin wooden leg, like her hand's just a fist with no bottle in it.
Love it.
Standing from the front looking at it like,
How?
There's just like a tiny like bottle-sized dumbwaiter that just like takes it down and comes back up.
Little do you know, the throne is actually made of wine bottles.
It's like the Iron Throne but glass, bottle-shaped.
Accurate. The drunken queen.
and she looks at Vardrak and, how could we not be friends when both of our gods have abandoned us? And she bows her head and turns and just starts walking away.
Vardrak just sits back in his throne and he's just kind of lost in thought until anyone says anything.
Grimble finally manages to wake up, and like as he sees the queen like start to leave or whatever, he like comes into the throne room afterwards. He's like, "Great, what are we doing?" And she's like all joyful, and like just like looking at everyone, seeing all their somber faces, like, "What?"
Abatsu still got the smile on his face.
And you notice that Grimble's hand is still like this.
And she's like, "Hi, everyone."
Vakta's gonna look over at Batu and be like, "Did you tell her the truth?"
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Oh, I feel like that deserves another check.
Hold on, I'm gonna roll perception.
Alright, do I gotta roll another one?
Yeah, you'd have to roll deception against it.
Where did I go?
Shit.
What'd I do?
Who knows?
There have been times that the jackal hasn't answered, but
Yeah.
it's been so long since we've heard from him, I'm not surprised.
Batsu, you just keep trying. I know that he does what he wants, but this seems important. And if he knows anything that might help, we're going to have, that's our only lead. Gonna go speak with Uathor, get him and the other priests on this, and see if they can help us figure something out.
We'll talk to Ricard. He knows about death and stuff.
Yeah, talking to him is my favorite thing to do.
How about you talk to him?
So hold on, you guys mean to tell me that after all the shit you've been through in 5 years, you haven't warmed up to Ricard at all?
Nope.
He's creepy.
Okay, that's fair.
Hard
He
no.
even like covers himself and stuff now.
Hard no.
Middle
Okay.
summer.
I'm
just fully
delegating
covered, so people
As
don't-
queen, I'm delegating this task to you, Batsu.
Oh dang, she hit you with the royal decree.
He's still sitting down and he just like kind of rolls over. He's like, "Yes, my queen." And like as he's bowing, he like holds out a hand. He's like, "Can I get a drink too?"
She pulls a bottle out, hands it to him. It's empty. She just like narrows her eyes and just like, you can have a full bottle when you come back.
He starts walking out, and as he passes Grumble, like places it in his socket hand.
Cup holder hand.
Just like, cool, thanks.
You're standing there like, fuck you. Then like, as Batu passes him, Grimble's just gonna like go and try to throw it, but he swings his arm and it just like stays in his hand.
Like there's a weird wave. He's like, "See you later."
He just like awkwardly like. Grimble takes it out with his other hand and smashes it on the ground.
Why are all the bottles in Dracarius the same circumference?
Grimble, what's going on there?
Don't worry about it. It's nothing. It's fine.
Okay.
Think that guy at the fight last night hit me a little weird. I'm fine though.
Okay.
Batsu stops like at the door and he turns around and is like, Vardrak, what are we doing about this?
He's walking with you because he's leaving the two. Doing about what?
Queen.
We're gonna try and fix it. Because if she turns into a lich, then we have to deal with that. Because there's no one else that can. And then we have to deal with what happens to the sudden power struggle that's going to happen in Durian.
Because they've been our
got
allies
it.
so far.
Yeah, if she goes under, it couldn't be too hard to put her down, right? Like, we took down a fucking demon lord. And that leaves Durian open for us.
Ooh, I want to be king. I want to be king.
He's like, you stop starting shit in my bar.
I couldn't, but it wasn't my fault this time.
Ah,
It wasn't my fault this time.
I don't know what happened to him. He looked like he got drunk all at once. We were fine 1 second, the next second he shot a fucking morning star.
Would I have remembered any of this, Cliff?
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, but to be fair, that was funny. That fucker went flying.
I had to fucking grab it before it damaged anything that I just
We were
made.
in the sewer. It's stone wall. Don't be a baby.
After losing everything, I do not want to
Oh
start
no,
over.
a little chink in my sewer wall. Oh no. He just starts
Pulling another
taunting.
bottle of wine from behind his throat and just taking a swig. Just like, oh, fuck.
By the way, did Batsu attune to that Morningstar?
He did not. He tossed it in the vault in the sewer.
Okay.
Good place for it.
He is going to work on that later.
That's a term for the toilet. Vault in the sewer.
You can take this mace, and you can dunk it in the toilet.
You want to store your goods, just flush them. It's like a Mario pipe. Right into a secure safe.
Oh. Just got a much more squishy sound effect. Just.
So, don't you think it would be kind of beneficial for us to let this play out?
No, because the queen is. Look, Orcus was overconfident. He rested on that title of Demon Lord and thought that he was invincible. He just had to make it here and no one could stop him. We proved him wrong. Now, knowing what she knows now, when she loses control, she's not going to underestimate us. She's going to run, she's going to hide, and knowing what I know about liches, and especially a lich that knows her enemy, she would probably be very effective at hiding and raising an army and making things significantly more difficult on us. So yes, if at all possible, for that reason, if nothing else, we want to try to fix this.
But she said wherever her phylactery is, whenever she decays fully, that is where she will first appear. As long as we
And that is
actually
why
get
we
it.
have to go get it. We have to make sure we're in control of this situation. And he's going to walk out with you away from everybody else. And and should this thing go south, it's not lost on me that we are definitely claiming Durian for our own. And he gives you a look like, do you understand?
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that shit's all cleared up with me and my people now, but I still don't like the bitch.
Fair enough. But I'd rather not have an undead army to threaten our kingdom.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't start listening to reason or doesn't properly contain herself before she loses it, we might have to ask more firmly. Let's hope that it doesn't come to that.
I'll make sure. I'll keep trying to get in contact with the Jackal then.
All
That's
right.
what he thinks of the whole situation if he does talk to me.
If he tells you anything, bring it to me first.
Just you?
Yes, before we share the information with others.
Okay.
I think we need to contain this situation as best we can.
Yeah, I agree to that.
All right, I'm going to go speak with Thor and get them working on books.
I'll send Ravage their way. He should prove useful to them. Or Rakar.
Say what?
Oh yeah, he took command over Ravage. Didn't you know that?
Yeah, any information about liches, there is the information that I've studied on how to effectively kill them, but he knows them from a more intimate perspective. So any information he can provide might help us too.
And Batsu just starts walking to the graveyard.
Yeah, Vardak's going to the temple.
What is Grimble and Vakta doing?
I assume just following along to see what happens, because that's the only thing that seems worthwhile to do
Yeah.
right now.
Voctor's listening because she wants to know the plan, so she followed along. She did grab another full bottle of wine to hand to Grimble because she's just like staring at his hand like, the fuck's wrong with you? Put a full bottle of wine in there and went, huh. And then walked off with her bottle of wine.
Why is every bottle the same circumference?
Because I wanted them to be.
Goddamn Vakta standard units.
Easier to stash in different places around the castle when they're all the same size.
That's actually sound logic.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing like a whole network of like wine dispensing units that are like the it's like the canister delivery system from Umbrella Academy that the Time Assassins use.
Yeah.
There's just like a random thing opens on the wall and there's just a wine bottle there.
She just walks, pulls a loose brick out, thump, grabs the bottle, puts the brick back. Like, what the fuck? Just...
That's exactly what Voctor's got going on. The only thing worthy of it is wine. Eventually she'll hide something else, but right now, wine.
So you guys are going to see Uathor?
Yep.
And you guys find him in the temple praying with Ukto.
Vardrak's going to sit and wait for them to finish.
Well, as soon as Uathor like sees you, he immediately breaks and he greets you.
He gestures for Ukto to come over too, and we have a situation that we have to not let the information leak, but it is of highest priority right now. Well, I'm sure you heard the trumpets and everything, but the Queen of Durian paid us a visit. She is dying, and we need to see if we can figure out if there's any text that might help us figure out how this is happening. She has stated that she has continued to feed souls to her phylactery, but is no longer taking any effect on her. And should her mortal body die, then she's going to go full on, full evil, lich on us. And I don't think any of us want that.
Kill her before she turns.
Let's put a pin in that.
Okay.
I'm not really much for violence, but I can't say that I disagree with Grimble's logic.
Aha! See, I am right for once.
And I'm with both of you, but
Wow, even Vardrak agreed. This is a weird day.
she is, with the knowledge that she has, a more beneficial ally to us than anything. If we can fix this, great. But if things start going the way of not so much, then we'll also need to know how to put her down the most effective way.
Well, what ailment does she have? I can try to find some text.
It's not that easy.
It's as if her physical body is starving to death.
So, She's not consuming souls, is what you're saying.
Trying.
Yeah, she's trying. And the phylactery is accepting the souls. But she's getting no benefit from it.
Yeah, the only thing that would make sense is that the deal is done. Whatever agreement she had with whoever gave her those powers has been fulfilled.
Leviatar, the goddess of suffering, I believe is what she said.
Oh, Tiamat.
That's what I said.
Ooh.
Oh, I can't even imagine what type of foul agreement she made with her. I've just heard the stories of the rituals. Every 12th day, the worshippers would pass bodies through the flames of candles to honor. It's a fate worse than death.
Like I said, if two of you can research, only the highest tier priests can be let in on this. And obviously impart upon them the importance of their discretion.
I will keep it between us two and Zoomer. I will only enlist in their help if need be. The less they know, the better.
All right. And there's one other matter, but I would like to speak to you about this in private.
Well, if you want, we can go into my private chambers.
Would the rest of you care to go see if Batsu was able to get anything from her car?
Really?
I'll catch up in a moment.
Really?
Well, you don't have to go in the creepy graveyard of his, but just wait to see if he's done.
I'll be at the castle. And Voxa just walks out. She's going back to the castle.
Walks up to a loose brick inside of the temple and pulls it out and pulls a wine bottle out of it.
How'd they get in the temple? Bitch doesn't pay attention. Oh.
And he motions you, and you guys walk into his private chambers.
From behind his robes and cloaks and everything, he pulls out the wand of Orcus and sits it down and says, "What have you been able to find out about this thing?"
Other than the fact that it gives me the creeps to no end, I was able to find some passages in the Black Tome that spoke of a ritual that could bind a soul, but it requires a willing participant and their skull.
Willing.
They have to agree to Orcus's bindings. Whether they know the full extent of what they're agreeing to or not has to be willing.
So that confirms what I was thinking, that my brother agreed to this.
From what I've read, I can see no other way.
And from the bag of holding, he pulls out Ensirion's skull and sits it down.
Like, as you set it down, like, you see Uathor, like, take the mace and, like, slide it away from the skull slightly.
So if I were to reattach this,
I don't like where this is headed.
Headed.
Damn.
Stop it. What's with all the terrible puns tonight? Jesus.
You say
We're
terrible, I
having
say
a
awesome.
wonderful time.
all right. So it's more of a, if I do, we don't know what will happen type deal.
Well, it's not like the Black Tome has a paint by numbers associated with it, but from what I can assume, if you were to do the ritual and bind the skull, it would repower the wand. But I can only assume that Orcus would know.
Kind of want him to know.
Well, I urge you to think of where we are standing. Think of all that could be in danger. Sure, you defeated him, but what if he comes back stronger? What if he sends an entire army through the chasm right outside this window into the city?
We destroyed a great deal of his followers.
Yeah, but the thing about demons is there's always more.
Oh, there's always more.
But it's not just your life or your friend's life or your family's life. You have 1,000 people here.
Although I've always considered everyone as we have built this place. And we are still standing strong and getting stronger day by day.
And I would like to think that my counsel has assisted in that to some degree.
More than you know. But something that was just spoken to me has bothered me. And it's made me think about something else that was said to me.
And what might that be?
I was warned that there was something that is coming. I don't know what that is, and I don't think the person plans on telling me what that is. But I want to be prepared. And as far as what was just told to me, has it bothered you too that we have still, out of all the followers that you've been able to gather, like we have far more than the Red Spawn Temple, both mine and the new combined, and still we've heard nothing from her. We fought Orcus by ourselves. She did not answer us as her followers pleaded for her assistance. I've tried to not let that bother me, but it is eating away at me. And I know it sounds blasphemous for me even speaking these words right now. I've been wrestling with them for too long, though.
I would be lying if I said that they haven't crossed my mind.
I'm just thinking that maybe we need to stop relying so much on the gods. And he picks up the wand in one hand, the skull in the other, and it's perhaps it's time for us to just rely on ourselves. And then he puts the skull back into his pouch and then tucks the wand away.
You could see, like, when you lifted it up, too, he was like... he had that "don't do it, bruh" look on his face.
He's just, thank you for your time. And then he walks out.
And he's still just sitting there, just, like, kind of in disbelief of everything. Ukto never stopped praying. He's still praying.
Of course. He is going to head to find out if Batsu found out anything.
So while they were off in the church and everything, what was Batsu doing?
Is Rakar in the graveyard?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you know where to find Rakar.
All right.
Everyone in town knows.
You can
Yeah.
see him, like, laying on the ground on his side, like, talking to the dead. And when he comes up, he's like, oh,
The Batsu just walks up and he like leans against the temple right there. And he's like, so what do you know about liches?
And he's, like, having a conversation. No, I don't think that it's a cow. I think that... Liches, you say?
Yeah.
He kind of, like, rolls over and he, like, puts his hand in his chin. He's just laying on his stomach.
Kicking his feet.
Yeah.
The liches.
What you thinking about, Rakar? Oh, just undead things.
Just thinking about these liches.
Liches get bitches.
Riches from my liches. It's like,
I'm already done with this.
it's like, well, what specifically do you want to know?
So there's one getting power from a phylactery through torture, then offering us soul. Everything's still going where it's supposed to. The phylactery is still taking it, but she is no longer gaining from it.
Fascinating. So, has it started?
Decomposing?
Yes.
Yep.
My advice would be to stay far away from her.
Like how we stay far away from you?
You're not even there.
No, I followed Batsu out.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Vardrock asked us to go out. I followed Batsu. I'm there.
Vakta went back to the castle. She just kept going. They went to go talk to him, and she was just like, do, 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 do.
So when you say, like, we stay far away from you, oh, Grimble, I didn't see you there hiding behind that very, very tall tombstone.
Be Chodo now.
No, he's not quite Chodo.
Cool.
I'm not gonna play with fire on that one because I don't want that motherfucker to rush me and touch me. So Grimble's just gonna keep his mouth shut this time.
And give me a hug.
Cassidy thing.
He like purposely pulls out the spear out of Typhoon and just like points it at him, just a rush of air to push him back. No. Eh.
Well, if if she's already started to change, I'd say it's only a matter of time.
Is there even a cause of this? Can we prolong it? Can we stop it? We're lost here.
Yeah, so we stop it by killing her before it starts. That's what I'm saying. Nobody will listen to me.
I'm
Pretty
pretty sure this is the first time I've ever said this, but I agree with Grimble.
Well, fuck you too, Ricard.
Oh,
He doesn't actually say that.
I didn't know you didn't hear any of this. Dang.
Did she happen to say that she pissed her god off?
No, just that the god vanished. No word from her for anything.
Well, he looks around. If there's one thing I've learned from being here in Jakarias is that the gods are unreliable. I hear these fools preach everything to Tiamat, and though I try to, I get no response, they get no response.
But what about your mark that you got from, or hasn't that grown?
The mark has grown, but my connection has faded. I tried summoning her even, and was met with silence. It's like she's dead, but... And he holds his arm out and you see his tattoo glow. But my powers are still here.
Have you tried, never mind.
Whatever you were going to say, yes, I probably tried it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not that weird that the gods don't respond. They're doing god shit. But if she is no longer able to absorb the souls, then her god no longer has use for her service. It's an interesting thing about liches. You can't take the power that you gave them away. They already have it. But you can stop them from growing. Subsequently, it also turns them into crazy, marauding, undead murderers, but powerful, crazy, undead, marauding murderers.
Great.
Hard
You
not
see?
to have a visceral
They keep their
reaction to
power.
that sentence.
You gonna make it?
Batu starts walking out of the graveyard, and he stops when he gets to the edge. He's like, I know you used to talk to her with some. Doesn't that work?
It hasn't in recent months or years. Honestly, though I keep praying, I lost touch with Tiamat years ago.
And is Grimble still there?
Oh yeah, yeah. He's just standing back. He's just hanging out. Not getting anywhere near you for no particular reason.
So, Ricard, follow me. Come to my house.
We get somebody
Grimble.
walked by, and as he walks by, he kind of just like brushes Grimble's shoulder.
I'll meet you back at the castle. I need to go burn my clothes.
Hey,
Alright.
hey, Jay, give me a Constitution save.
Fuck me. At least Con's my greatest save, so.
You're good. So he follows you into Megami's house. I'm
So, yeah,
sure
we,
letting you know along the way that it's not yours.
Ah, yes, let's go into Megami's house.
Yeah.
Sounding a lot like Valkyrie right now.
Just walks over to a pile of dirt and picks it up, like, oh, here's your house. He didn't say that.
Too soon.
It's been 5 years. Stop punching me.
So, Batsu takes Ricard to the basement of the house and make sure no one else is in there. So, what if I can give you your religion back? Give you another connection to a greater being.
I'm not even sure where to start with addressing this question. For one, no. For two, what do you have, a god in your back pocket?
And he takes off the bracers that give him his electrical punches, and he puts them on the floor, and he steps back and he holds out his arm, and this orange energy emits from it, and it's a orange ball of fire in his hand. He's like, yeah, you can say that.
Ricard kind of cocks his head. That's new.
And he's just like looking at it, like, yeah, I've never been able to do anything with magic before.
So what changed?
A god appeared before my eyes. Or what used to be a person that got so much power that they're able to challenge the gods now. And he is asking for those that will devote themselves to him in exchange for power for both.
Ricard like takes off his helmet. And he sits down and sets it in his lap. What you are asking me is to fundamentally change myself at my core.
You said it yourself, the gods have abandoned all of us. This person is challenging them and giving back to us mortals.
But why? Why now? Why? The gods have abandoned mortals countless times. But he like moves his hand and you see his spiritual weapon form. But they're still here. How do you explain this?
I don't know, but Vardrak still has his powers that I'm guessing he's getting from the same place as you. And the Lich lost hers. haven't heard anything from any of the gods. Even this person said that when they went up to the Celestials, they said that they wouldn't help us at all. They just gave him a weapon and some chains and said, do it yourself.
But how can we trust them?
You put your faith in a god. Why not another?
Put my faith in a god that is proven throughout eons her power. She brought dragons to this world. We've seen these dragons. We've fought with and alongside these dragons.
And Batsu like snuffs out the flame in his hand. He's like, this is enough for me.
Well, my faith is not so easily swaying. I can't say I agree. I can't even say that I understand what's going on, but Vardrak has given me hope. As long as he continues to believe, who am I to doubt? He's built this entire city around the idea of Tiamat. We hear the preaching every day.
Well, I just thought I'd offer.
Well, I don't know how to respond to that. Do I want the power? Yes. Am I willing to throw away a lifetime of devotion? No, I'm not.
Think about it. I need to get back to seeing what the hell we're gonna do about this lich situation. But keep this between us.
Well, you know where secrets get you. Don't get me pushed into that pit alongside you.
Well, Vardrak built this on Tiamat. I built everything that I had lost on secrets, building it up again. So I stand by that.
Well, as always, I pledge my services to you. But don't fuck us.
No. You have your own place here now. Even if people stay away from you, it's still your home.
Well, that's
Anything
fine.
I do shouldn't affect you anymore.
I can keep this creepy facade up as long as it takes.
Just, if you do what you're trying to do, think about staying. Don't just take off.
Yeah. After 5 years, where else would I go?
Fair enough. And he helps Rakar up and starts walking back outside.
Well, I guess I have children to scare, and he puts his helmet back on.
And going to the castle, I guess.
When you get there, Kirla's going to be waiting for you. She says, Mr. Batsu, everyone's waiting for you in the war room.
He like fixes his robe again. He's like, yeah, that's right. He just walks in.
Put some respect on my name.
Mr. Batsu. I'm gonna be sick.
Turbasu.
And she's got like this like covered up plate or platter with her, and she walks with you into the war room where Vardrock and everyone else is already sitting. And she goes over, sits it in front of Vardrock, and then like pulls the top off to reveal like all these like different kinds of meats and everything. And then she just kind of bows and then heads back out of the room. He's like, ah. He picks up a bite.
These 5 years that you haven't gotten fat.
I mean, waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and training for an hour or so every day doesn't hurt.
Exactly.
When you got someone like Ricard working you over day after day, it's hard to get out of shape.
Just giving those glutes a pounding.
So he starts chewing on some of his food for a little bit, and he's okay. So we have to consider our options here. And he looks over at Vakta and says, the last time I didn't kill an ally when I should have, things got worse. And now we're being told, basically, if we don't kill her now, things could get worse. But in killing her...
We've already been told that if we kill her as she is now, that just speeds up the process to her being part of the kill.
But if we did it, it would be on our terms with our timing, not just all of a sudden, boom, she's exploding in Durian or on our own doorstep. At least if we preemptively strike, we know where to find her and everything. Now, granted, I don't want to do this, but this mistake cost so many lives last time because I couldn't see past my loyalty to my brother. So, based off of what we know, it seems that maybe her god might be done with her. She might have fulfilled her purpose, or her god has turned her back on her. We don't know that. We're probably not going to get that answer. We can't reach the jackal right now, and we don't know how much time we have left. So, anyone, thoughts?
I say we get the phylactery, then
I say we kill her.
What's the point of getting the phylactery? We know that's where she will...
The phylactery is going to be where she appears after...
Yes.
The
idea. I have an idea.
Oh, God.
Let's get the phylactery and put it way underwater, or we throw it in the rift thing, and so that way when she comes out of it, it takes her a while to get back.
So just prolonging the inevitable.
I mean, who knows how deep it is? I don't know.
Can you still hear that dwarf that got kicked in there, or is that gone?
No, after a few minutes, that was gone. Just slowly faded away.
They say he's still falling to this day.
Regardless of what we choose, we have to get the phylactery first. And of course, it's well guarded. So we're going to have to go through that one way or the other.
The only thing I don't want to do is have to fight her and then fight all of Darien to get back out.
I'm pretty sure once Durian sees a undead demigod thing raining havoc on some of the city and us, they're gonna freak out more than
it
try to
is still
protect
their
her.
queen.
Well,
And you're always going to have those that pledge loyalty just because of that.
There could very well be some strong loyalists, but we do know that besides the people in this room, she has her captain and her advisor that knows what she really is. No one
Right.
else in Durian knows.
Right, so they're gonna think that we put a spell on her to justify killing her.
Unless they don't know
Especially if her
that.
car comes along.
No,
That's
no.
not that bad of an idea on their part.
They don't have to know that we killed her.
No. So are you proposing that we kill her in secret? Assassin?
What's my effective range right now?
You shoot her from here.
It's like,
I
all right, it's
got
about
it.
that far. All right.
If we, there has to be in Durian. We can't invite her out somewhere or do it somewhere else, because then people will definitely think that we are the ones that kill her.
I mean, to be fair, we will be, but
But
It's
if we
either
do it
that
in
or
Durian with,
kill all witnesses, and that gets really messy. Really fast.
She's back.
But
Look, I know Durian took a big hit between the plagues and the earthquakes, but that's still a lot of people.
it is.
Batsu, did Rakar have any good ideas, suggestions?
that we kill her.
Great.
He said, and this is coming from a religious person, so take that for what it will. But he said the gods are abandoning all of us.
What gives him that information?
He's can't get a hold of his god anymore, your god anymore.
Seems none of us can.
He would get messages, like cryptid messages, but now it's just nothing.
I know we're supposed to consider this a test of faith, but I don't know. We can't wait around. We can't rely on the gods' responses. It's going to be up to us to fix this just like it was before.
If the gods are gone, if the gods have abandoned her, then the only way to fix it is to have the god stop whatever's going on.
Yeah. Do you know of a way to make a god respond to us?
No. So, the only other option in my eyes is that we get the phylactery, kill her, and get ready for her to appear at the phylactery. We have 4 months of preparation to make sure we're ready for whenever it happens.
Do we know that we have a solid 4 months?
No.
No.
And we don't know what happens if something like, your old pal Herfru succeeds in killing her again. Yes, she would pop up at her phylactery, but in what form?
Well, the last I heard was 5 years ago. He was not surfacing anymore, so I'm not sure what happened to him or if he'd even attempted again.
No, he's just an example.
People hungry for power will take the opportunity to strike down a weak queen.
Yeah.
They know that she's weak.
She had to show herself, and even though I'm sure she hid under her robes and whatever just to get here,
You don't know that she doesn't have a secret way out of the city. Come on. You think I don't have a secret way out of here? Without getting seen? She's a lich. She can definitely get out without being seen.
The thing is, I'm not more concerned about her being invisible when she comes and goes. It's more so trusting the people around her.
Most of us never saw her. Nobody does visitations with the queen. Nobody sees her other than those close to her.
But you said yourself there was a thieves guild or something that was working directly for the royalty.
You think that meant that they met her?
I don't know. I don't know how far up the chain it goes.
It's more of receiving orders from guards.
And if the guards that protect her leak information to them because that would be valuable, and maybe these guards are underpaid. See, I'm sure Bots was laughing for a reason. Tell me I'm wrong.
I can't. Oh no.
She claimed that Orcus was being overconfident. She's been alive this long and she's rested on how powerful she is above everyone else for so long. Power makes you arrogant and cocky. Makes you make foolish decisions because you feel that you're untouchable.
So what are we doing?
I think we can all agree that first thing we're doing is get phylactery. Whenever we get word from where it's actually at.
We get the phylactery first, yes.
She said she already surrounded it with a lot of traps that even she doesn't know where they all are or what they all do.
Yeah,
what if we just
traps,
kept an eye on that
wards, and-
location so when she spawns there,
I want it in our possession.
she's already weakened by what's there, and then we are there to kill what's her once she's weakened after all of that.
We keep it on us so that way we are in control of that. I don't want to
But it's not
situation.
surrounded by all of the traps and everything that would weaken her for us, because who knows how powerful she's gonna be.
Unless we have a single person to go assassinate the queen beforehand, we're going to be waiting outside of this location, just waiting for it to happen for who knows how long.
And I'm pretty sure that the traps that were mentioned and the wards are not in place to hurt her when she has to use the phylactery. It's for anyone outside trying to come in to get it or destroy it or whatever.
Then why would she make sure that she specifically does not know what they are or where they are?
I would guess so that it cannot be manipulated out of her. I know of magics that can make you say things that you don't want to say, secrets revealed that you want to keep to yourself.
She doesn't want to become the darker evil lich. She wants to keep her humanity. So it sounds like she's trying to stop herself already.
Right, but either way, that phylactery is still her lifeline as a lich.
What happens if you destroy the phylactery?
If we destroy the phylactery, then the current life that she has is it. No second chances. And that's also assuming that she hasn't somehow created another that she's just not mentioning. Though from what I understand, that is extremely difficult and taxing to do. It's not like she can just whip one up.
Why don't Batsu, why don't you have someone keep an eye on her? And we find the phylactery, and if she starts to look worse, faster, we can destroy the phylactery, and then we don't have to even deal with her coming back. It seems like an easier way to go about things than trying to kill her twice.
Do you feel that there is a spy that would escape her notice?
I don't know, I left Batsu in charge of things. Does he think that there's one?
Seeing how she knew who I was in one of my forms, I don't think anyone would be able to trail her for a few months without her notice.
That's just it. We could have the person be open and honest about who they are and why they're there. But should she turn unexpectedly, who's one of the first people that she's going to go after?
And as you say that, Vardrak, your divine sense picks up on this strong presence of Celestial.
Coming from which direction?
It's coming from all around you at the moment.
Vardrak slams his hands on the desk and stands up. He says, "Everyone be at the ready." And he pulls out his hammer and his shield.
You all hear this booming voice that seems to come from all around you. I, Grigori, 7th Solar of the Golden Legion, demand counsel.
Who?
Our Lord, man. And where is this Grigori?
You don't know. You don't see anything. You just hear this voice booming.
Well, this is Vardrak saying this out loud.
You get no response.
He starts walking out of the room. He's gonna tap his amulet for his armor to come on, and then he's gonna head outside the castle and start looking around.
And as you head outside the castle, off in the distance, near where the temple is at, you just see this floating body that is just emitting this gold light.
Now they show. Is he speaking common?
Yes.
Vardrak is going to start. He's going to start gesturing for anyone. I'm assuming like all the people outside are just kind of like freaking out at this.
Yeah, like it's actually grown. Like he's drawn a crowd at this point of people that have stopped what they were doing and are like gathered around this floating being.
Vardrak is, everyone clear out.
And as you say that, he kind of snaps his attention to you, and you see this flume of wings sprout out, and he darts over towards you, and he hovers above. I smell the taint of demon in your blood. Be known, the Golden Legion ascends down on Eregus to cleanse your kind. And that's where we're going to end it at for the night.
Motherfuckers are 5 years fucking late. Talking about cleansing some shit. Motherfucker.
bitch. Victor's just gonna be like, what the fuck? You come into my house. 'Cause this is my house.
So with that, thanks to I love Asuna and Rune is my love, suspicious, for the follows. Michigander, thanks for the host. Everybody that's been here hanging out, thank you guys so much. I will have the joy of Bob as a command next week, and it will be a weekly counter of Bob's laughter.
That's gonna be amazing. I'll let him know.
Oh, he already knows. I already told him.
Oh, awesome.
So it'll be an open command you guys will be able to do. You just do exclamation point joy of Bob, and it'll just add to the counter and tell you how many times he's laughed this session.
That's awesome.
Maybe we'll do something if we hit a certain number.
Oh, it has to be some sort of reward.
You see, I keep putting my mic on mute when I eat, and I'm gonna have to like not do that so you can hear him laugh while I'm still muted.
That's right. Mukbang streams. But yeah, so with that, I'm gonna call it quits for the night. Thank you everybody who came to hang out. Thank you players. We're gonna raid Ascension Stories like we do every week because they actually put out quality content. Trying to think if I have anything else.
Spoilers for next week. The first 20 minutes is going to be a Celestial getting cussed the fuck out.
Oh, I've got my speech prepared already. I've just been thinking, like, motherfucker, you come to the house.
Well, you got a week to flesh it out and make it exactly how you want it to sound.
Amazing. Well, I'm just gonna fill out this entire little book here.
Parental discretion is advised.
Just make sure you guys have clerics on standby that can perform resurrections.
Shade will be thrown.
So with that, thank you guys so much. Have a beautiful night, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.